Guten Morgen, mein Kinder. Ich heiße Mutter Battery. We really gotta talk about this shit. Because I wake up to it every morning. NSBM. I talked about it, made fun of it once, and then ever since then I've had grown men and crybaby teenagers seething in my comment sections about it. For context, I made fun of all the edgelord fringes of black metal. The DSBM edgelords, the Mayhem edgelords, and then very obviously the NSBM edgelords. There's a lot of ways the edgelord can go. I'm not trying to say that all of black metal is made up of these like racist ass edgelords. The NSBM edgelords get their own episode today because as I record this video, I'm still having this particular type of edgelord blowing up my phone like they're high school girls. Today, I wanted to try and cover all the bases that I couldn't in that previous video. I'm going to talk about NSBM, where I stand on it, and of course, my experience with it. Because I'm going to be totally honest, I think that I have a special hand to play here in this game, in talking about NSBM. We really got to address the elephant in the room. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm brown. Oh! When you search up NSBM on YouTube, a majority of the people you'll see talking about this topic are fairly white-skinned people. I definitely think that I wouldn't have gotten as horrific of a response as I have if it wasn't for the fact that I'm a brown metalhead. Here we go. We got the brown guy making everything political, making everything about race. Like, if I was a white guy making the jokes that I did in that other video, the worst thing I'd be called is, like, what? A race traitor? A disgrace to my lineage? But, like, these people in particular, woo! Goddamn. They can't even get my race correct. They're calling me Mexican slurs, which has definitely been riling up some of the Mexican members of my audience. I get called Indian all the time. I've only had, like, a fifth of these comments getting my race correct, and they're not even getting the right kind of Asian. They're calling me yellow. Like, can you people just agree on how racist you are? Like, we got, like, different ranks of racism here. We got casual racism, and then competitive racism. Competitive racists actually get the race correctly and shit. I also think that because of the fact I'm a brown metal YouTuber, suddenly me talking about NSBM is me complaining about it. Is that a spider? That is a spider. Oh, well, you know, he's fine. But, what was I fucking talking about? So yeah, no. Because of the fact I'm a brown YouTuber who just so happens to like talking about black metal, when I talk about things like NSBM, suddenly it's me being offended by it. Or me bitching about it. Me being soft. I should cope because it's not my politics. I could literally give less of a shit about the politics. Like, I'm not gonna just deny the politics. There's definitely politics to be had with Nazi black metal. But me trying to talk about it isn't me suddenly being a pussy about it. If you can't have this kind of conversation with me without rolling your eyes, then you're kind of proving the main point that I'm gonna be talking about for today's video. Genuine question, why does metal seem to have such a Nazi problem compared to other subgenres? So why are Nazis even a problem in areas like punk and goth, of course, and in today's case, metal, specifically black metal? I'm gonna be using the point that I love to say because it pisses off these kinds of edgelords the most. The idea of black metal that comes into your head, you know, the edgy lyrics, the corpse paint, and the like, it came from a bunch of angry Norwegian twinks who were seeking attention. That's a really horrible generalization of it, but let's be so honest, dude. If you looked at it from an outside perspective, from a normal perspective, that's literally what it looks like. This isn't me saying that black metal is corny and I hate it. This is me saying that black metal is corny, and I love it for that. You really gotta be self-aware about the stuff you're representing here. If you genuinely take yourself and black metal seriously, like you genuinely believe that you're this prince of darkness, you sound more like a poser than I do, and my whole gimmick is being a black metal poser. Hello, it's me, it's Future Battery. I'm coming back to add another point that I didn't really think of until now, mostly because I forgot to read it in my script. I think another one of the biggest reasons why you have such a bad problem with, like, things like, you know, conservative goths, black metal Nazis, and all these other, like, horribly fascist Zionist. God, I'm using all these words. They're definitely going to call me woke after this video. The reason why these types of people love latching onto these genres and just subcultures is because of the fact, you know, as an alternative person, naturally you're going to be judged, you're going to be persecuted for trying to stay away from the status quo, you know? Whether you're alternative, goth, listen to metal, or even the fucking emos. If you're any of these things, you're gonna be looked at a little weirdly. Nazis are a group of people who just so happen to also be attacked for who they are. But what Nazis seem to not understand is the fact that they're being attacked for being a piece of shit. Being attacked just for, like, being a woman, being a person of color, and then believing all these, like, basic human rights is way different than being attacked because you just couldn't stand to look at the interracial couple holding hands at Walmart. A very big difference. In fact, I shouldn't have had to say that in the first place. But for some reason, these people, they just can't seem to grasp that until you say it out loud to them. And then on top of all this, I'm actually gonna say this same point in my next video. Being alternative, being weird, being different is kind of just trendy now. Like, you have all these companies making it marketable and cool and doing all this fast fashion bullshit with alternative culture. Like, Hot Topic literally made a shirt with the mysteries of Satanas. It's cool to look weird now, and because of that, we have people like conservatives, like maybe even some Nazis. I don't know about like all the Nazis, but you have these people that are latching on to the look of being alternative, of listening to metal, of listening to all these rambunctious genres and subcultures. But you have people that look the part without understanding why the look is even significant in the first place. But it's because of that desire for seeking attention that it's really not that surprising that a smaller group of attention-seeking twinks started seeking that attention by acting like Nazis. Especially when you have people like Varg running around. It's not really that surprising that some people started to act like being a Nazi was okay, and then they put it into black metal. And then you also have the fact that black metal focuses on themes of hate. You know, hating existence, hating people, humanity, and the world for being fucked up. But the Nazis, the NSBM people, they want to hate because there's people that aren't the same race as them. Or because they dyed their hair blue. What if you like NSBM songs and don't support the band? I'm gonna say this next point as clearly and just as transparent as possible. I don't prefer to listen to NSBM, but I'll be real, some of the worst people are out there making some really good music. I can still have a conversation about NSBM with people who listen to it. If you're someone that really does just like the music, and you're capable of acknowledging the sketchy bands, I'll be honest, I could personally give less of a shit, you know? I wouldn't recommend that you tell other people that you listen to NSBM, but if you're gonna be talking to me about it, then I don't necessarily have a beef with you. If I can talk to you about why you listen to it, then I guess I can respect it, you know, because you're not being a dick about it. My issue is more with the people who take these bands seriously, their lyrics seriously, and then, like, wrap themselves up in this blanket of Nazi black metal. These are also, for some reason, the people who are in denial about being Nazis, and then why that's a bad thing. If you're somebody who's gonna retaliate and then bark at me because I asked you why you listen to the Nazi black metal genre, that's where I'm gonna start making fun of you.
NSBM, no sex before marriage?
Like I said in my Edgelords video, I'm not necessarily trying to make fun of people who just so happen to like black metal. There is a very big difference between listening to black metal because you like it, you like the artistic expression of it, and listening to it just because you want to prove to the normies that you aren't like anybody else. You normies wouldn't understand me because I listen to a vaguely edgy genre of music. Monster Energy drink, to them, that's just an energy drink. Little Caesar's Crazy Bread, to them, that's just bread. Crazy Straws? Woo! Don't even get me started. To them, that's just a straw. I don't know. I said that pretty clear. Did you just forget that? Was your attention span really focused on the brown guy making fun of your edgy music? A lot of these types of NSBM fans, these edgelords, are acting like I'm trying to say we need to take edgy imagery out of black metal, when I'm not. I literally, one of my favorite bands sings about killing babies all the time. but you don't see me running around believing we should kill babies. You can talk about fucked up topics like the Holocaust or just other events throughout history through various mediums of art. I'm not trying to say you can't do that. There are mediums of art like movie and music that tackle these subjects. We literally have a Slayer song that's dedicated to the horrific experiments of the Holocaust. But it's a completely different territory when you're using the medium to celebrate the atrocities of stuff like the Holocaust. What really blows my mind about these NSBM edgelords and just my current detractors period is the complete lack of self-awareness. Like, you're just now deciding to hate me because I said the Nazi music was corny? You're not hating on me for being cringe, for the horrible quality of my older videos, or even just me getting my facts wrong. You're gonna hate on me because I made fun of the Nazis.
They look better than you with that poser-ass vest. Not my vest. No.
What I love about these people is that they're all responding, but specifically because I said, you know, if your whole personality is acting like a Nazi, you're pretty corny. And then in return, their response is just to make fun of my appearance, to call me gay. That's your response to me saying that, ooh, Nazis are bad. Is to call me gay. That's really astute observation there. I didn't know that I was gay. I guess these people, they're finding out for me. They're pointing out that I look funny. Oh geez, I didn't know that. The fork was found in kitchen. Oh, I'm brown. I'm a monkey.
NSBM fans or people who like IRL gore, who's stinkier? And his name is fucking Fent Wizard.
No matter how they try to spin the conversation, they're just straight up defending the Holocaust, Hitler's actions, Nazi ideology, and then they just completely throw the music side of it out the window.
Haha! I wish I could be triggered enough to care and try to make a platform to hear another justice warrior on social media. But I just learned to laugh.
The main kind of response that I've gotten from these people is just they see me, a brown-skinned metalhead, and then assume that I'm some woke snowflake whose feelings were hurt by the racism music.
You're brown. Damn it, guys. Damn it. Found the poser.
Is my stepdad out the house? I don't want to be making all these noises. Like, I don't... Okay, he's playing Call of Duty, so he can't hear me to begin with. These people act like I'm the one that's sensitive, the one that's jealous for some reason. For some reason, jealous is a really common word to come up. They act like that I'm the one that's hurt, but they're the ones throwing a temper tantrum because I made a few shitty jokes about NSBM.
Monkey gives speech about NSBM.
And because of that, they literally just proved my point. A point that I didn't think would get this bad of a reaction out of people because I thought it was just common sense that Nazis were bad. You could just look at these people wrong because their lives are genuinely so empty. They're just focused on winning an argument on the internet. How are you gonna tell me to cope when you have the pride flag in your bio? How are you gonna be like this and then sympathize with the Nazis?
Cope more!
That's your response to me saying that Nazi music is corny. It's just a cope.
Cope more.
You should cope with my brown ass making fun of it. Apparently, you're so hurt by it. I've reached a point with this NSBM stuff where, like, I don't think I could kill myself anymore. Because if I went and killed myself, the NSBM edgelords would just be taking credit for it. And now I have to be alive out of spite for these people. I mean, I also plan on just outliving people like Donald Trump in the first place, but now it's just completely out the window, the idea of me just going away. And then going back to my original point, I was initially trying to just make a point for the NSBM fans. Like I said, oh, that is a spider. I'm sorry, the spider's coming back. There's a very big difference between listening to the music because you like the music, and then listening to it to prove to the normies that you aren't like everybody else. And for some reason, these people just prove to me they're listening to it to act like they aren't like anybody else.
You're so jealous. It's so funny.
I already made this joke before. I'm going to try to make it a little bit different. I do not want to hear shit from the guy who has Charlie Kirk on his Instagram page like it's Markiplier edits. You're the one that's so jealous of people making fun of Charlie Kirk that you're doxing them? for just making jokes.
Ooh, how big, how scary, how grown up of you to just reveal people's addresses, their locations, their full names because, oh, you can't handle a joke?
I don't know. You're definitely the type to say that political violence is not welcome. But as soon as like a trans person dies, you'd be making fun of them. You want to know what I think, Mr. Sentenced for Life? Mr. Christ is King, motherfucker? I hope that your Lord and Savior Charlie Kirk is rotting in the worst layer of hell right now. He was a misogynistic, homophobic, racist piece of shit. If I was able to have access to his corpse, I would be using his neck hole as a fleshlight. Just out of spite for you and out of spite for Charlie Kirk.
Are you Jewish?
Yes. The rice fields, they were promised to me 3,000 years ago.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker.
This comment is just one of my many favorites over this past month and a half because not only does it completely miss the point, in their heads, I'm gayer than I actually am to them. Like, what part of me indicates that I'm a Z-Zim? Is it just because I'm not white? If anything, the white people are the ones doing the Z-Zim shit. Can you think of a more original comeback? I'm just saying, you know, I got an Asian mom and she thinks of more creative insults than you people. Like, yes, I love dudes, I love women, I love they-thems. They-thems are people too. I'm never gonna shut up about that. But I promise you that I'm not that gay. But I don't think that God nor the devil made me that gay. In fact, they both agreed that I would have been unstoppable if I actually was a Z-Zim. Or a Guts Gore. Is it really gay that my hair is that long? I thought the whole thing with metalheads is that they grew their hair out. Because if that's the case, then literally every single metalhead is probably some non-binary woke liberal. Does that mean that Kirk Hammett is a Z-Zim? Dave Mustaine? Euronymous? Maybe. You know what? Maybe. Because, I mean, we got the black metal twink bullshit. Yeah, because, yeah, dead ex-Euronymous. Okay, there might be some backing for this theory.
There is no superior race, just filth.
I have no idea what side this dude is on. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's an even smaller group of these NSBM edgelords, these NSBM dick riders that believe the most chronically online misinformation. Like it's almost as bad as the Holocaust denial conspiracy. Their fragile egos are so focused about being correct and about owning the brownoid that they don't bother to check the most basic facts about the Holocaust.
Always the people who look like they get their opinions from Anthony Fantano and Sean C. complaining about this.
It's funny of you to assume that I respect Anthony Fantano. You know what's funny? NSBM fans, they're always the people who look like Discord mods. Who look like they don't shower. You know, they have greasy hair and whatnot. So it's always those people. I can do that joke too, you know? I'm just saying. So as I've learned after I graduated high school, the whole blonde hair, blue eyes thing is a myth. A myth that's for some reason perpetuated by the American education system. I will admit, America just loves to rewrite history. But that doesn't mean the whole superior race bullshit didn't exist. It's just that the superior race wasn't blonde hair and blue eyes. In fact, Hitler's superior race, period, was just something that he lifted from someone else's other belief system. The Aryans originally came from, like, I'm pretty sure Iranian and Arab, like, based ideology. Uncle H was a hero? Never said they are the master race. They literally did. It's just that the master race wasn't blonde hair and blue eyes.
It's not because it's edgy. And it's not because a superior race.
It literally was because of a superior race, by the way.
It's a way of living. Ask any historian.
You could ask any historian about why Hitler did what he did, and it was because of the superior race bullshit.
They will tell you that Hitler literally saved Germany from the grasp of death. He was the most lied about man in history. The UK, USA, and Russia killed more people than Hitler did.
Okay. It literally doesn't matter how far you cross the line. You still cross the line. America killing more people throughout history doesn't suddenly negate this instance of the mass genocide of millions of Jewish people. That doesn't suddenly mean that they didn't starve men, women, and children in these death camps. That doesn't suddenly mean that the Nazis didn't perform abhorrent experiments on these people. Camps like Auschwitz are still up to this day to remind us that these things happened. Do these people genuinely think that Germany went out of their way to intentionally build fake death camps to be some fucked up version of Disneyland?
Bro will call out people who think their race is superior until they're Jewish. You want to be original in making fun of racists? Make fun of non-white racists.
I'm making fun of all racists here. What the fuck are you on? It just so happens that a majority of the racists coming after me are white. This is definitely one of the most egregious points that I've seen trying to defend NSBM, because once again, they don't even defend the music. They just try to make you sympathize with the Holocaust. They say that, oh, Hitler wasn't racist. Hitler didn't hate the Jews. If you know anything, you had guys with your skin color in the German military during World War II. The blonde hair, blue eyes thing is a myth. Even some blacks, Africans. I don't even want to, dude. This is genuinely so frustrating. So what the fuck am I reading right now? Where the fuck do you get this kind of information from? And on top of that, why does that suddenly mean to you that, oh, Hitler isn't racist? Hitler had an army of Jewish soldiers in World War II.
So tired of hearing people say the superior race bullshit. It's not even true. Hitler had every race, including Jews, in his army. People might take you seriously if you actually pick up a book and read.
That's really rich. You're telling me to pick up a book. Why don't you pick up a book? Why don't you just Google the Hitler's Jewish army? Hitler having Jews in his army doesn't suddenly mean he's not racist. That's like saying, oh, I'm not racist, I have a black friend. Hitler having Jews in his army doesn't mean that the Jews weren't being persecuted. They couldn't even say that they were Jews, because if they were, they'd be shot by their commanding officers. What the fuck happened? Are you okay? This is a real human being commenting this just on an average fucking Tuesday. Thank you for commenting this. Faded Tags Vintage. I hope that people see this and then never buy your overpriced vintage t-shirts.
Give me $200 for this death t-shirt with a cum stain on it.
Holy fucking shit, dude. I didn't think I was gonna get this mad recording this video. God, I'm like sweating. I'm sweating from recording this whole fucking video. I'm also sorry. I'm sorry for the people in my audience who weren't expecting me to yell today. I wasn't expecting that either. But, I mean, it's like I said earlier. I feel like I have a much more different experience talking about NSBM because I'm somebody that's brown as shit. Dude, I'd be getting even worse comments than this if I was like a woman, a brown woman. I'm unemployed, and these people make me look like I have a 9-to-5. They make YouTube look like a thriving job for me right now. What happens to these people after they graduate high school? That they suddenly, like, revert to thinking that the Holocaust wasn't bad, that the Holocaust even happened in the first place. And then what's crazier to me is that they're bringing up all these 4chan talking points because I made fun of NSBM, but they didn't even try to justify the music. They just try to make you into like a Holocaust sympathizer or a Nazi sympathizer. These are the same kind of people that say punk music, metal music, literally any alternative genre of music isn't political. These are the kind of people who talk about the liberals making everything about politics. Yet they're the ones making it about politics. It's just that these people's politics stem from them not wanting to see two guys holding hands. Not just because they're homophobic, but because they're jealous. Because as we've seen with people like Americans, Republicans, the gayest motherfuckers be the most homophobic. What I really want to know about these people is just like, why? Why do these bands have to be racist for you to enjoy them? This is like those white guy alpha males who complain about not being able to say the N-word. Why are you this obsessed with it? You could be obsessed about so much other actual meaningful shit. Speaking of obsessed, I'd like to highlight this comment right here. It's another one of my favorites. One of these NSBM edgelords was stomping his feet like a baby because I liked one comment, but I didn't like his.
OP is a double standard loser. He hearts, why do people support the ones who lost the Second World War? I responded, the same reason people support the losers of the Mexican-American or Indian-American wars. Because the native peoples and Mexicans are losers to those wars, and people still support them.
I really don't want to hear this from another one of these kinds of Nazi people that are proud of being who they are, yet wear a mask. If you're really that proud, take the fucking mask off and show your face. Holy fucking shit. These are the most punchable people possible. And then this particular edgelord was commenting about how the ethnic cleansing of Native Americans was similar to the Nazis losing. The Nazis being sore losers about losing World War II is nothing like indigenous people losing their culture because of colonizers. What the fuck kind of mental gymnastics are you trying to jump through here? These people are just mad that the brown guy is trying to mix into their pure-blooded white Aryan music. I think it's just mind-blowing that they stuck around long enough to even post these comments in the first place. Because it's like, if you're really this pissed off about me, why did you still watch the video? That's like getting mad at the dude at Subway for making your sandwich after he rung you up. I think out of these kinds of comments, I respect the ones that just say that they hate me and they move on. Because they aren't trying to just win some argument with the brown guy on TikTok or Instagram. They just say that they hate me and then move on because they have lives to tend to. And low-key, I kind of respect that. I respect that more than the people who not only don't get the joke, but then proceed to just show that they don't get the joke. I think the conclusion that we can draw from today's topic is that the internet has just made people stupider, unfortunately. I mean, we all knew that because I'm someone who just complains about TikTok and social media. But when it comes to people like this, racists who love saying just anything they want, it's really important to remember they're saying all these vile things from the comfort of their homes, because if these people genuinely said any of the things they're commenting just out in public, they'd get punched in the fucking jaw for it. That's not me saying that I'd win the fight, but I'm not taking any of that shit sitting down. But I don't know if I'd be going around saying that either, because, you know, punching a Nazi is like punching someone with special needs. But then, of course, saying that they're special needs is an insult to people who actually are special needs. Plus, you know, you also have the Nazis that are going to try to turn that bit into them being the center of attention because I used the word special. But speaking of punching Nazis, I wanted to end this video off with a very funny story that happened a few weeks ago. Somehow, I managed to see an NSBM fan just out in the wild. If you're a subscriber of mine who knows me in person, you're going to know exactly what I'm going to be talking about for the next minute and a half. Now, for some context, I was just out at Dirty Dungaree supporting the homies for a secret set. And one of my friends was moshing, and he hits this guy who was literally in the splash zone of the pit. God, splash zone sounds really disgusting. But the point is, this dude gets hit by my friend, and then takes the hit personally, which is already bad enough on its own. This dude decides to start running up on my friend, and then another friend of mine just so happens to see all this and then stops the guy. You can actually see this moment play out in the footage of the show, so you know that I'm not literally exaggerating. But after the set was over, this dude gets shamed out of the building because apparently this guy has a history of already just being a dick at Dirties. Most infamously, he wore a Burzum shirt. What really did it for me about this guy was that when that point was brought up, he just started dick riding Varg as his defense of Burzum. He immediately took it as a hit to his ego and started talking back like he was a high schooler. Yeah? Well, you suck. And every time this Burzum dude decided to walk away and act like he won the argument, his ego just kept making him come back to try and start more shit. Now, there was like this 15-year-old that was in our general group of people, and the whole time this stuff was going down with the Burzum guy, he was just joking about his belly being gassy. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning this kid is because the Burzum guy came to this show with a friend, and it was that friend that decided to sucker punch this kid for no reason. Like, of all the people you could have hit, not only did you hit the youngest person in the group, he had nothing to do with the argument that was being started over here. As soon as that punch was thrown, this guy's ass got fucking jumped. Like, hands were just immediately flying from all angles at this one guy. There's video of everybody running up on this dude. You can see my short ass among the crowd too.
Get the fuck out of here, bro!
There's one of my friends just skipping with glee because he was waiting for this moment to happen. Water bottle gets thrown. Fucking, this is like my favorite. It's like a core memory of Dirty Dungarees for me now. It was genuinely hilarious seeing how fast that dude curled up into a ball. Like, how are you gonna hit the youngest person in a group of people and then not expect something to happen? Especially when it's a group of predominantly hardcore beatdown people. Some of the scariest moshers were in that group and showed up today. Like, what did you expect was gonna happen? And of all the hills to die on, you chose Burzum. Your friend got hit by the hardcore beatdown kids over Burzum. Of all the bands you could have defended. And to think all of this started because he took a hit personally in the pit. Why be in the pit if you can't handle being hit? God, I'm just spitting bars right now. God, that was really cringe. I'm never saying that again. The best part about this story, other than just the punches being thrown, was that apparently these two motherfuckers came with Burzum dude's dad. And then the dad straight up just flipped everybody off and then sped away. But before he drove off, you could very clearly see these two dudes trying to hide their faces in the back seat. But they still had to peek out the window to see if they got a reaction out of everybody. After that night, Burzum Dude's Instagram was found, along with his shitty band, and I gotta tell ya, after listening to it myself, it was not great. Really, the worst thing that I've listened to. It sounded like the shit that I took after shooting the hot sauce video. I think the only thing that I personally regret that night is not saying anything to them about Burzum, because I'm literally the black metal guy. But the reason why I didn't say anything in the first place was because I was really high that night. So I was kind of just, I was in shock the whole time, watching like everything happen in front of my eyes. I was just like, so that was me the whole time that was going down. I couldn't think of any words to say. It's because of that night that I vowed to just stop getting high at Dirties. But yeah, if you liked this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, then I'm sorry this is your first impression of me. I'll see you all in the next video. Don't be a dick, please.
Get the fuck out of here, bro! You wanna fucking fight? You're a fucking boy!